I'm going to perform a comedy act. Yesterday I put the right-hand fender on by myself. I'm not very tall and I don't have very long arms. And it was a comedy act. So I'm going to attempt what I learned yesterday, today on the driver's side, and give you the benefit of the laugh. What I did was I shoved two long 5/16 bolts either side of the center hole for the fender at the top. And I taped their heads so they'd kind of stay in place. Then I try to sit the fender on there and then try to get that top bolt in. The one on the other side, I got the top bolt in, but I dropped the washer so many times I left it off for now. Now I didn't tighten any of those because I want to line up those with the splash shield with the running boards. So they're just all on here finger tight right now. So I've got a fan running. I hope it doesn't strike it, but it's extremely hot here today. Not much air moving. I have two type bolts. I have the clutch head bolts for the fenders, and then I have some Phillips head that are similar screws, and I have about 500 or 600 of these, and I gave a bunch to a friend of mine who used them to put in his together. And what I'm going to do is use the clutch heads on the top four that show above my bed, and I'll use these underneath. And that way I'll have clutch heads left over. Maybe we can even enough to do another job similar. But anyway, that's what I'm using. Let's see if I can do this without y'all laughing too hard. Well, that was easier than yesterday. Okay. Long ones. clutch head, and the rest I need. Let's see how it works. My knees do not allow me to get on that concrete. You'll notice I've not put any welting in these fenders. I'm still trying to decide how I want to go about that, or whether I want to put any in there. I don't know. We'll see. Alright, that worked out much better than it did yesterday. I'm glad I didn't film yesterday. Now the lower ones, they're easy. I just do them on the floor. That gets the three of the top ones. Got one more back here that I can't reach at all. And then we'll do the bottom ones. We'll look at it over here. The lower ones that'll be below the bed, I'm using the Phillips 5/16. say the clutch heads are up where they show. But I probably dropped every piece of that side at least once. So there's eight bolts. I think I got up and down about 25 times picking it up off the floor. So this time that worked pretty good. So the next video is going to be putting the floor in this bed. I'm building the cross pieces that are over there in the vise, and it'll have two cross pieces lined up with two of the holes so that I can drill through the framework and mount it. And tighten it down. So I'll film that next. Setting up the bed and the floor, I basically am just going to cut two saw blade cut grooves for the two edges to sit in, and let the flat part of this wear strip set on the board itself. So this will be a little higher than what was original. Originally they set the whole thing down a little further so that but they were allowing for the expansion and contraction of natural wood. Since this is composite and I don't need to allow for expansion and traction, I'm just cutting a regular saw blade groove 5/8 of an inch in from the edge of each board, and that allows this to sit down, and that helps align the boards, and then that also allows a gap in the boards for the bolts to fit through, which will be actually carriage bolts, so that the square can sit down in there. But that is how I'm cutting and preparing the boards. So they'll be cut on a table saw like that, and then this just sits in those two grooves, and that also helps with the alignment of the boards. Helps align the boards. And as you can see, I need a little bit of distance. Well, actually I don't. Okay. And that will be how we're going to put that together here in a little bit. I'll run these boards on the table saw, and then I'll start installing those after I get a few other things done, like finish up the cross pieces on the support. Alright, I'll be back. Going that way, when you turn this way, I just say I better move. I started laying out my bed. I'm using Trex brand. Composite boards look like wood. And those are galvanized metal strips. And they could have put them all down and cut the center one down narrower, but I decided to start in the center and work out and cut the two outside ones about a ½ inch on each of the outside ones to I don't know, just like the look better. So I will I've been bolting together where they don't have to be drilled through for the hold downs. And I will continue to do that, and then I'll drill the ends and the centers where they cross the support and bolt it down to the whole bed instead of just bolting it together. But I cut a 1/4 inch deep groove in each of the boards where the metal strip goes down in there. And I've got 5/8 of an inch in from the edge, 1/4 inch deep. I only needed an 1/8 inch deep, but I did a little longer, a little deeper so it could have a little room to move. And then the bolts go between the boards into the, either just tying them together themselves or into a support to actually hold it down. So that's kind of where I'm at. Just ran that groove on table saw, one blade width, and I allowed the rub strip, which is, those are the little bumps, is I think part of the rub strip. On the original, the floor of this thing, this floor here, is at below level, and then these were the rub strips that allowed it stuff to not rub on the wood when you put it in. These were an 1/8 of an inch lower. Me, I'm allowing them to set on the top here. These go in the groove and go down. So the floor of this is sitting on the top of this. I did not cut the extra notch to lower it down. So that's kind of how that's going to work. So my whole rub strip is above the floor. In the original cuts, this rub strip stuck up above the floor, but not by much. So mine's up about about an 1/8 of an inch more than the original. But that's the way I'm going to put this down. Use 1/4 20 carriage bolts. Going to be interesting. I have to drill the holes for the end ones, and they actually set underneath the lip of the front panel on the bed. So it'll take a 90-degree drill to do it. So I'm thinking I will put the whole thing together, slide it this way and marking the holes, and then slide it this way and drill those front holes with a 90-degree drill. Or I might could do it with a 90-degree drill with it sitting in place. Anyway, it's going to take a little bit to get that front hole in there. That's alright. We'll make it. But that is the bed. or that's the way the bed's going to look. So I'll add more to this later.